Hi guys, hello. So today we started a new painting. Well, no, actually we already started it like last video, but remember I was very unhappy with the face and like the body, and it was a lot of things that I needed to change, so I decided to do it today. I'm sorry, I didn't do it. I haven't had enough time, to be honest, to actually work on it. So finally, I got time today, and I have to say that it was very annoyed because first of all, my phone just got the basically I have too many pictures. Okay, so in the middle of the video, and this is why you didn't see how I colored the top of the hat, because I really thought I was like recording, and apparently it didn't. So I don't know how, I was just like, okay, let me see how I look. So I turned around and I wanted to see the video, the camera, and then I got a notification saying that I had too many pictures that I needed to remove some. So I did that, and it happened like 3 times, that you're gonna see some cuts, because that's when the camera will stop and give me more it'll give me more notifications about, okay, you need to actually delete more. And so I kept deleting and deleting. I literally deleted 200 pictures and videos, and the whole time I was so scared, and I would be checking my camera over and over, because I was scared that it wasn't gonna get the whole thing. But anyway, it got most, and tonight I'm gonna work on actually deleting pictures and videos that I don't need. So yeah, this is me. This is my new girl that I'm drawing. I'm liking it so far. It's getting there. So anyway, let's go and do our book. So remember, we're reading Money Lessons for a Lifetime, and I have to say that so far I hate it because I just realized something. So this book is written from this guy that basically from the 80s, or even actually before. So hold on, I'll tell you exactly, because he mentions the time. So this is from the 80s. So he wrote this in those times, 86 or something, back then. So a lot of the things that he's saying, honestly, I don't think it makes sense, because a lot of things change, especially financially, and especially with the stock market. So I'm reading it, and I'm actually putting some notes, because I don't think you guys need that, especially if it's it doesn't make any sense, right? So anyway, the lesson number 4 is everyone can do something, and it's talking about using $2.74 a day to build wealth, which sounds really stupid and not even believable, but I'm gonna tell you what he says. So he says, from his own experience, obviously, someone told him that ordinary people can accumulate extraordinary amounts of money if they follow a few basic rules and save a few dollars each month from their paycheck. If you only save $2.74 a day, in a year, you will have $1,000. And you invest. And it says you invest in stocks, mutual funds, you could have the money you'll never get by in retirement. Which, to be honest, okay, if by the end of the year you save $1,000, yeah, that's pretty good. That's not good like wow you're rich, but it's alright for this time and age, right? Maybe you can use it for a gift or something like that. But back then, back in the 80s, yeah, probably it was a little more, like maybe it was like 10,000, right? But right now it's like it's nothing. But anyway, he talks about investment and all that. This guy is like a very like a banker type. So he has a lot of that mentality. He trusts like bankers a lot. So based on Time magazines, over the past 10 years, the stock market as measured by the Standard & Poor's 500 stock index had an average annual total return of about 15.3%. So like I say, he talks a lot about investments, but this is like back in like 1986, literally, because he says it over here. He put the year. So this is why I'm kind of hating this book. I wish I would have seen that. And then that's my mistake, because every time I see a book, I use the cover and I think, okay, that sounds interesting, so let me read it. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no a truth in here. Like I said, if you save $2 every month, yes, probably you get those 1,000, and those 1,000 that you probably wouldn't have at the end of the year. But you're not gonna tell me that those 1,000 is gonna be like a lot of money by the time you retirement, right? The money keeps devaluating. So I mean, I guess like you can do whatever you want with your money, but I don't see it as useful nowadays. But anyway, he said he has a rule of 72. That's the rule that he called it. Just divide 72 by the annual rate of return you expect to receive. A 50% return, 15, okay? A 15% return will double in 4.8 years and double again after 9.6 years. A 4% fixed saving rate will double in 18 years and double again after 36 years. So again, he keeps talking about all of these things that like nowadays wouldn't work, especially because obviously a lot of people are just living like check to check by check. But if you save the $2, probably will, I mean, $1,000 at the end of the year, that wouldn't be bad. Because the numbers, they're still the same, but I'm just saying. Investing without taking risk is not enough. So basically, okay, in the 80s, probably you could have like invest and you were safe and you were fine, like. But nowadays, a lot of people can't even save money because they don't have money to save. They basically live in out of like, basically check by check, right? Just get your money, pay your bills, buy your food, and then that's it. And then live until the next month to do it again. So I don't see it like, to be honest, like I said, this is like back when people were actually like able to buy houses still, you know, or living by themselves in an apartment. Like, it's just ridiculous. It says several stock annual funds that allow you to start with a minimum. Oh, so he talks about like this person goes to his seminar and then he's like, well, like you're talking about investment, but I don't have money, blah blah. And he's like, well, do you have $25 at the end of your month, of your paycheck? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, you can invest that money on like mutual funds and basically like just make sure that you can keep doing that like monthly, and then you're gonna be rich at the end of your life, pretty much. Which is like, okay, that's not entirely true, but whatever. Maybe back then, right? We're not gonna say they're not entirely true, but like maybe back then. Now I doubt it, but yeah. So that's one thing. Like I said, like I went through this and I just thought it was like nonsense, some of them, and just because I just said that it was nonsense because I was like, okay, like it doesn't sound like something doable now or something that can work now. Maybe it will work if you put the double of money, or depends like or the amount of money that, like, for example, if the dollar in if $1 back in the 80s was like $10, so that means that now you should put $10 instead of $1, right? So that can work, but a lot of people can't have that, so it's tough. Anyway, that's for lesson 4. So lesson 5, it says make your own way, credit cards catastrophic. Catastrophe. So in this chapter or in this lesson, he talked about like credit cards and how people like basically got into a debt, and basically then not knowing how to use your credit cards. Okay, I do agree with him a lot in this, because I had to say that I'm also one of the people that, like, if I'm gonna have a credit card, I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna be able to pay that at the end of the year, right? So doesn't mean that you're probably gonna have like little setbacks in your life where something happens and you're not gonna be able to pay like that, and then now you're paying basically like how do you call it, like basically now you're paying interest and all that. But I am that type of person that like I like to do that. What I do find out is like a lot of people, like, and I know people like that, that they apply for a credit card, right? So they apply, everything fine, and then when they get their credit card, like they get so happy, and then they're like, okay, let's go shopping, and then they go and they spend the money from the credit card, and it's like, I remember I lived that with my older sister, and then it was like, okay, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. When I got my own credit card after like many years after, like I was like, no, like I can't spend like that. So I decided to be more cautious on using my credit cards because I didn't want to mess up my credit. So yeah, like it's very important to know how to use your credit cards. It's not, a credit card is not a magic card that is just like for you to use at any point. No, it's like a credit card is to actually like, it's an emergency thing, or if it's gonna be for pleasure, you make sure that you're gonna have your money next month. So he talks here about a lady that worked in a gift shop, and the lady knew about the easy spenders, like people. So basically she says that they eager to find just the right gift and they never leave the store empty-handed. And they said, or the lady said, that these people use cash. It's almost lost. Or oh, okay. So these people. Okay, hold on a second. With a personal check, they need to IDs. Okay, so basically, they said that like back in those days, like in the 80s, people used to pay like with checks. Even when I was like in my 20s, I remember that you can pay with checks in some places. But even like, but back then, like checks was very common. But you needed to have like 2 IDs and do a lot of stuff, which people were like, okay, I don't have time for this. So basically, using the credit cards is quicker because it takes basically like nothing to verify that, right? So it was very easy for them to actually like just give the credit card and then it's done, your purchase is done, you got what you wanted. So yeah, he's talking about that. Now, so that's one point. The next point about the credit cards is about, I mean, how to use them, obviously. And he talks a lot about you, like, so I'm not going through this because I'm not going to the whole through the whole lesson, because the whole lesson is about, well, if you have this amount of money and then you use your credit card, you're gonna have to pay this much of interest. But all of this is based in 1986, okay? So this is why I'm not going through that. Now, he also talks about these other like banks that were like basically like how much money you have in 10 years if you save this, if you basically like what's it called, so hold on just a second. So basically he's just explaining about credit cards and how they work, and then what's the percentage, and he's explaining to you like, okay, if you spend this, you're gonna get this much percentage. And also he's saying that if you spend it in a store, they're gonna charge you for like every time you charge it. But that's kind of bit of like not true anymore, because nowadays credit cards are actually not charging you for every purchase. So you can actually just like yeah, I mean, you don't have to what to call, yeah, I mean, you don't need to I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, credit cards are not charging for every transaction, so it's not really like entirely true. But and this is why I didn't wanna tell you about all of that, because it's kind of useless, because the system is different, obviously. So we are going to chapter 6. Let me see. I'm gonna read the beginning and we go from there, because sometimes he starts good and then he starts going to like these like old school things. Okay, so saving, invest, in, say. Oh, sorry about that. My dyslexia just kicked in. 200 cookies. Staying invested at all times. I don't need a radar to find the kitchen when my wife is baking cookies. Just a gift from the oven is enough. My favorite is almond twist. Okay, hold on a second. My favorite is almond twist. My dyslexia is horrible. I'm gonna read this quick because I can read it perfectly like silent, and then I'm gonna tell you after as soon as I finish. So I'm gonna put this on pause and I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back, okay? Okay, so I'm back. So basically, so I checked, and I have to say that it's all about investment. It's all about investment. It's all about like what he did in 1996 or something like that. Basically not for us, because he talks, 1996. So basically I feel like this book was for people like before the 2000s, and then and that's the reason why like it worked for those people, because it wasn't that much of a difference from the time he wrote it. So yeah, like maybe if I were to read this book back then and I had the money to invest, I could have invested and I probably would have made it in my money. But now, like actually doing like stocks and trusting bankers with that, I wouldn't do that. Like I just can't, I don't feel comfortable with that. So yeah, it's just a waste of time. So for lesson 7, it's like there are no winners, frauds and scams. Several years ago, my wife and I moved to New York City. We moved across the country from California because I was offered a job as a weekday talk show host on what many consider the number one talk radio station in America, War AM. This was heady stuff for a guy who worked weekends on San Francisco radio station, and I learned quickly what mattered most in New York City was money. Lots of money. As we looked around New York for a place to live, I soon discovered that even with my hefty paycheck, we didn't have enough of the great stuff to live in the Upper East Side. So we moved into a new apartment block on a new apartment block on East 32th Street. I selected the 12th floor because every floor thereafter increased my monthly rent. I also selected the 12th floor because I was told that bugs and flies could not fly higher than about the 10th floor. I soon discovered that I had been misled when flies began resting on my windows and stared at me through the window pane. Then, in their effort to fly through the glass, they hit the window pane, fell back, stunned to the sill, and lay there, determined to try again. The message of this lesson is that for flies and for humans as well, you won't have success in building wealth if you reach if your reach exceeds what is reasonably proper to expect. It also turned out that very little of what I was told about living in New York turned out to be true, except of course that gobs of money could always bring you a better life, a larger apartment on the 30th floor, and flies on the windowsill still banging their heads against the glass. So it came as no surprise when I read in the paper that a socially prominent, highly respected fundraiser for a Boy Scout and the American Cancer Society was alleged to have run a Ponzi scheme for several years. According to the paper, the man and his wife enjoyed the best New York could offer: a brownstone, chauffeur rides, to the theater, designer clothes, and rooms full of art and antiques. The federal fraud indictment sketches a classic Ponzi scheme in which investors are led to believe that they will get rich without risk. And like all Ponzi schemes, a few investors did pocket big returns for a while, but the promises they and others received were, in the words of federal fraud prosecutors, nothing more than figments of a felony's imagination. So you see, one way to get anything you want out of life, even in New York City, is to ask enough people to hand over their money to you. What was the offer that induced people to trust this one-time bank employee and former security manager? They were told that if they invest their money with him, and they could earn 18 to 20% of a year in interest, risk-free. So basically, so he's talking about that these financial scams. So basically, it's like I was saying, like a lot of bankers, they don't have the best. They don't have your best. I forgot the word. You know what I mean? Like they're not there to make you money. They're there to make themselves money, and they don't care. And I know that they're probably not all the same, but mostly they are. So This is why I would never put my money on stocks like that, like through someone, because they will never do the right thing for you. They're always gonna do the right thing for themselves. So yeah, like that's a little tricky because I mean, this guy Jim, it talks a lot about like keep putting money and doing those kind of things, but I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't know. I just don't feel it. Like most of his stuff is back like 1996, 1986. So to me, it's just like it's not. I mean, it's not for this time. Maybe it was for his time. And like he says in the book, these are just my lessons, what works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody, and certainly doesn't work for people from 2025. So anyway, so for lesson 8, the power of determination compounding. For most people, more than 90% of their retirement will be made on money they never invest or saved. So he has a little story. A 73-year-old man made the 240-mile trip to visit his 80-year-old brother who was ill, driving his lawn mower, I don't know what that is, all the way. He chose to use his John Deere riding mower, I don't know what that is, and I don't know how to say it, as his vehicle because he didn't have a driver license. Hitched to the back of the mower was a trailer in which he hauled supplies and camping equipment. He averaged only 5 miles an hour, and the trip took 6 weeks. I think it's one of those little chairs, right? That like has like a little motor. I want to believe that's what it is because it's crazy. Or a moped. I don't know. Anyway, what I discovered a long time ago, along with a man on the lawn mower, is that if you really want to do something, chances are you can. If you want to become wealthy and you stick with your plan, you can. The problem is that most people underestimate what they can do with a plan and a few bucks a day. They think becoming rich is a retirement is beyond their reach. So maybe back then, maybe back in the 50s, all the way to the 80s, maybe 90s, maybe retirement for those type of people back then was like easier than now. At this point, a lot of people are losing their like social security, they're losing like their retirement, and this is just talking about America. If I'm gonna talk about other countries, I can talk about Mexico. Mexico, they don't have a retirement like that. Like, I think the government only gives them like probably like $3,000 pesos. 3,000 pesos, I think. Like, they really give him the minimum, like just to survive. And it's kind of sad because if they have to go to the hospital, they go to the worst hospital where like you can even like, you can probably go, but you will come out with like, I don't know, if you go for it, your stomach, you come out without a leg or something like that. It's horrifying. So maybe in America was good back then. In Mexico, it's never been good. Now, other countries probably it's a little better than America or Mexico, but yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess. So, Technical Story Tax Reform Act signed more than a decade ago by President Reagan. The law was a politician's dream. It reduced the number of tax rates, cut the top personal income rate, and wiped out most tax shelters. But now, a decade later, the tax code is almost right back where it started, with mind-numbing complexity from the number of changes. The top margin tax rate paid at the time of passage of the tax reform was 28%, but it has risen again to about 40% today. With all this game playing and constant changing of the tax rule, America have the world's most complicated income tax system. So imagine, he's talking about these percentages, right? 20, 28, 40%, that it went up in 1996. So imagine how it's now. So I mean, we don't have to imagine, we already know. So this is what I'm saying, like, yeah, a lot of the points that he make in this book, it's, yeah, I mean, it was good for back then, but not for now. So the point of this lesson is that getting married for loss or money can be a good idea, but for most people it helps to wander through the tax code before trying to know. With all these silly tax rules, you might feel like an ant being crushed by the IRS elephant, and if you do, you're not alone. The tax code is so complicated that Money Magazine's annual contest, which asks 50 professional tax preparers how much a hypothetical family will owe in taxes, ends up with a wide range of different tax bills. In my own case, I never know how much I own in taxes until I get to the tax returns back from my accountant, and I have to trust him to figure it all out. One thing most of us agree on is that in 1913, Congress has greatly hiked federal income tax for nearly everybody. The results say that the tax foundation is that the average American pays more annual in taxes than for food, clothing, and shelter combined. It's so true. So, for example, back when I used to live in America, I was earning like $3,000 a month, and I remember my last taxes were like almost $10,000. I was shocked. Okay, 10,000. No, 5,000, and I was shocked. And I can understand why. Like, I swear, it was like I worked so hard, and then they already took taxes from my check, and then they still want more. It's like, it was crazy to me, crazy. But the other thing is, like, imagine, like, this is whatever he just said, like, all of this is about, like, back in 1996. Now imagine how we are right now. It's so horrifying, like, horrifying. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't make sense for us to read it, like, to go deeper, because this is from 1996, and things have changed so much now that it's just, it's criminal. It's criminal. So anyway, so on our, let me see. Okay, so we have 7 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna go to lesson 10. I don't think I should go. Well, let me tell you quick. On lesson 10, it's called Don't Kill the Goose, Invest in Retirement Plans. So basically it's talking about retirement plans again, and also it's talking about the chances are that your employer has offered you the opportunity to participate in a company-sponsored retirement plan. They did on my side, and I say no because I couldn't save any money. So there's also a good possibility that you being offered a matching plan where you can grab free company money. So it's giving you his advice, which this, if you're in America, and obviously some of them they give you the 401k, some of them they give you like a retirement plan, whatever. I mean, you can just dig into it, but it says when the IRS and your employer gave you a goose that lays golden eggs, keep it on the nest laying eggs as long as you can. But the terrible truth is that rather than saving money for their employer matching plan, many people kill the golden goose before it has a chance to help them build their nest. So if you want to build wealth today, your job is to stock away as much as you can from your paycheck into your company's retirement plan. Grab the free matching money and avoid killing the company goose before it has finished laying its golden eggs. So basically, this is just if they give you the matching goods, like the matching retirement, right? So it's only if that happens. He also talks about 401k plan and all those things, which a lot of like places give it anymore. Some of them do, and the ones that do, like everybody wants to shop because it's extra money, right? So yeah, like I don't know if that helps because this is from long time ago and things have changed so much that I don't even think this works now. So anyway, we're gonna continue with lesson 11 on the next video. I hope I finished the painting then because I'm excited about this one. And this one, if you see the hat, it looks kind of unproportioned, but I'm gonna make you a video at the end. So if you see it from sideways, you can see that it's the same size. It's just crazy because when I move to the other side, to the left side, so if you see in the video if you move to the left side, you see the hat literally the same size, and it just moves. It's just crazy. Like I literally did that like unconsciously, so I don't think that I did on purpose. Anyway, now seeing it, I probably have to make this side that it's like the side that is kind of like how do you call it, like covering the eye. I'll probably make that a little more wider. I had to see, but I can't because like I said, in person doesn't look like that. In person looks actually the same size. I really think it's the what's it called, the position of the phone. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a whole picture at the end, and then I hope we finish it next time. I doubt it because these ones take me a long time, especially because I don't have enough light in my office right now. So I'm just trying to use as much as I can during the day. Sometimes I'm busy, so sometimes I don't get to paint or to draw. But I'm gonna keep trying and keep working on it. So yeah, so next video we continue with the drawing, and we continue with the book. I'll have more I'll read as much as I can, so I don't have to read from the book. I really don't recommend it. I really don't recommend this book, but I like to finish them because I like to at least know that I finished the book and not just like I like to give it a try, and I like to just be like, okay, let me see what it has to offer. So yeah, I don't recommend it anyway, but if you wanna buy it and read it, go ahead. Like this is one up there, like one with Aristotle. That no, thank you. I think the next book is gonna be nice. It's gonna be something more like fun instead of something like educational. Like I'm kind of tired for my brain to I have a lot of information from all these books that we've been reading, that I kind of want to read like a story, something fun, something that give us imagination, you know. So yeah, let me know in the comments like what kind of books you guys like. Like I like it also, like I read all the Twilights, which I know some of you might think it's stupid, but I love them. Like the books are amazing, I have to say, like super fictional, but they're great. Like I saw it. And then the novels, obviously they're fiction. But yeah, let me know what you think, and see you until the next video. And have a good day, good night, good evening. Take care of yourselves, and let me know what you think about the video and about the painting. I mean, drawing. Bye, guys.